So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have been out for well over a week, and fans...
Am I just in the fray? Hi!
have some complaints. With 10 million copies sold within the weekend launch, you'd think the games would have received high praise from fans, but to summarize, Gen 9 is the first mainline Pokemon game to be broken beyond repair. And while I could do a whole playthrough showing how the game runs like piss, I've decided to talk about and examine some of the main bugs and issues with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Also, since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is the only game that crashes when you try to stream it, I've decided to use clips and images off of YouTube and TikToks, and I will essentially be doing a commentary explaining some of these bugs.
I knew it! I knew it!
No way!
It's happening!
Those spores actually got an evolution! No way!
I knew it!
Please be a cool dragon! What? Dun spore? It's just a long dun spore!
We waited 20 years for that?
Where's the dragon? Where's the wings?
So while that's not necessarily a bug, I wanted to include that because it really shows how Game Freak was really lazy when it came to Dunsparce's evolution, which was probably one of, if not the most hyped evolution from fans everywhere. Evolutions aside, when you look at the number of new Pokemon in Gen 9, it really shows how Game Freak may be running out of ideas when it comes to new Pokemon. I mean, look at the fan art for the final evolutions of the starters compared to what we actually got. In comparison, it's pretty underwhelming. And speaking of starters, only one of them's opening animation was able to become a complete meme, and also single-handedly being the only broken starter out of all the mainline Pokemon games. Not only does Fuecoco have a tendency of falling off the map at times, but if you try to do a picnic with him, he'll apparently do this. Around the world, around the world. Honestly, I'm at a loss for words. So that was another issue with the Pokemon games. Having the NPCs being free roaming was creative, but when you get animations like this during the mainline Pokemon battles, it really shows how they didn't think the whole process through. You might think that a couple of minor issues is nothing to make a video about, but trust me, they get worse. And don't take my word for it. Let's see what some of these other YouTubers have to say about the game.
Game Freak, you should be ashamed of yourselves for releasing a game like this. It's nowhere near ready to be released.
This was definitely an experience for me because it was weird. I was excited for a Pokemon game.
Let's be honest here. There is genuinely mobile games that have better graphical quality than this $60 AAA title from Game Freak.
Now, I'm not buying a Pokemon game expecting for them to be graphical masterpieces, but damn, Scarlet and Violet look bad. I really don't know what else there is to say about this, as well, the games just kind of hurt your eyes to look at.
And one of my friends actually sent me this Dexerto article basically saying Nintendo is actually issuing refunds for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
I want to go home. I don't know why it's funny. Wait. Oh, I see why he wants to go home. Because he is stuck in the void. Oh, never mind! He went home! Oh, rest in peace, buddy!
Honestly, I didn't even know that was in the game, but I'm glad I found it. And also, I just wanted an excuse to react to another AlphaRad clip, as this guy can pretty much make any playthrough very exciting, no matter how bad the game is. The main reason why Scarlet and Violet has these problems is due to the scheduling by Game Freak. A total of 3 mainline Pokemon games were released within the year, and while Game Freak put their heart and soul into Legends Arceus, it left the Diamond and Pearl remakes underwhelming and resulted in Scarlet and Violet being underdeveloped. I'm not trying to say I can make a better Pokemon game, I'm just saying it's a billion-dollar franchise, so you think they take a step back and work on releasing quality over quantity. 3 Pokemon games within a year is great and all, but it doesn't really matter if they look like this. Honestly, I haven't seen a Nintendo game this broken since Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric on the Wii U. And honestly, that's a pretty accurate representation of what Scarlet and Violet is like. Changing the formula of Pokemon may sound good on rice paper, but it's important to know Pokemon was not made to be like that. While Legends Arceus proved Pokemon could work as an open world RPG, changing the mechanics of a game takes time. Had Game Freak slow down and focus on developing the game more thoroughly, maybe Scarlet and Violet wouldn't be as broken as they are. Instead, the end results have characters being glitched, gameplay being broken, and if you adventure too far outside the map, you'd essentially get stuck under the world. What's even worse was this is a game where you needed to frequently save, especially if you catched or leveled up your Pokemon. Meaning if you get stuck and you had to reset your game, you would lose all your save data. Or even worse, if the game were to automatically save and you'd be stuck in a permanently glitched position. I stated before how this game was overhyped, and I briefly wanted to talk about like the hype and the fan base built around it. But instead, I'm going to react to this quick video which basically explains everybody's reaction when the game officially came out.
Well, you know the deal. It's a Pokemon game. It's time for you to pick your starter.
All right, but, what just happened right there?
Don't worry about it. It's just how things are here. Let's meet your new best friends. This is a lizard with a piece of American cheese stuck to him, a cat that clearly won't become a furry, and a duck.
Wow, they all look so cool, but you mind telling me what the fourth one is?
Oh, that's just all four glitched together. Kind of cute, isn't it?
No?
Come on, friend, it's time to battle!
That's just a man. Oh my god, why is Nintendo okay with releasing a game like this?
Shout out to Circle Tunes for summoning up the fanbase after purchasing the game. I'm honestly not surprised Nintendo was okay releasing the games in their current state, as they probably know that fans will buy them anyways. It's not the first time previews of games have been over-exaggerated compared to what was actually released, but Pokemon has had a good track record with delivering what's promised. With Scarlet and Violet, however, no one could anticipate how many bugs this game would have. There were more bugs in this game than bug-type Pokemon. With past Pokemon trailers, they've always shown like the main gimmick that the games would have, and ever since Gen 6, they've tried to include every Pokemon with the gimmicks, with that being Z-moves and Dynamax. The revelation of terrestrializing a Pokemon and allowing a type change sounded pretty good on rice paper, but when you play the game and actually look at the animation style, it's pretty obvious that the entire budget went into those animations for terrestrializing. Terrestrializing was another issue with the games, not because it was broken, but because it was a missed opportunity. Every gym leader changes their final Pokemon's Terra type, which would essentially throw the players off. However, rather than changing the Pokemon based on the gym type to a different type to counter the players who know basic things like fire is weak to water or grass is weak to fire, their final Pokemon would terrestrialize into the Terra type based on the gym you were battling. In Bracium's case, his Sudowoodo would become a grass type. Now, this is the complete opposite of how terrestrializing should be done. If you're a gym leader and the player knows what your gym typing is, they already know how to counter it. So wouldn't it make more sense for your final Pokemon to match your gym's typing, but then you terrestrialize them so that their Terra type is completely opposites and you would then throw off the player? It was even worse in Bracium's case, as Sudowoodo is a rock type, which pretty much covers any type grass is weak to. So him terrestrializing Sudowoodo into a grass type was a huge downgrade, as it was then one-shotted by a type it naturally has a resistance against. And this was pretty much the case with every gym leader in Paldea. Honestly, the gym challenges were probably the most disappointing quests in the game, and the only thing that was worse than the gym leaders was the actual champion. And I don't want to go into explicit detail, as I could make a whole video talking about how this champion is the worst in the entire history of Pokemon, but essentially, they had an A-tier team, but were an F-tier of a champion. Terrible gym leaders, a terrible champion, and a ton of bugs. It's safe to say that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet definitely became a meme of a game, as the subreddit, well, it's got a lot going for it. This game cannot be real. What the hell is this? Oh god. Yeah, that is Curse. Lechonk right now, Lechonk on its final evolution. Honestly, no hates, that would be a way better final evolution than what was actually delivered. I heard your depression is strong. Let's have a Pokemon battle with it. Honestly, Pneumonia is probably one of the better rivals of the Pokemon games. In fact, all the friends that you make in the games are probably one of the more positives. Although, I will always go on an Arven route over Pneumonia. No matter what, she just wants to have a Pokemon battle, and honestly, it's a meme.
Oh god, what are you doing at my house? Hey, it's me, Pneumonia.
Congratulations, your Tatamese evolved into a Mashahole. That ain't an evolution, all they did was Okay, screw Dunsparce. That evolution right there shows that Pokemon is getting lazy. There was no purpose for me making this video other than I knew I had something I wanted to say about Scarlet and Violet, but did not know how to say it. I cannot stress that I do not think that these games are bad by any means. They're definitely worth playing, just not for the reason Nintendo had in mind. Hopefully, Nintendo will hear our prayers and next Pokemon games will be quality and have less problems like this. Anyways, y'all, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know down in the comments if you want more content like this. I suck at outros, and as always, I'll see you next time.